Good morning and welcome to Smart and Messy. You know how some people like to pile things up in their houses or you can't walk in, you can't move left, right, you can't even walk through. Those are hoarders and it's a mental condition. Y'all look it up. But what I want to talk about is being careful about bringing secondhand stuff into your house. If you don't know where it came from, if you don't know the people who owned it to be of good spirit, do not bring that stuff into your house. Furniture, jewelry, things carry the spirit of the people that have owned them in the past. And sometimes people have the tendency to go into thrift shops. I'm not knocking thrift shops if where they get their things from are people like a consignment shop. Most of the time, the owner knows the people who are consigning, and they don't always have like that bad energy. But when you go into like places like a Mission or uh, some of the other not consignment but thrift stores, secondhand stores, you have to be careful in bringing those things into your house, because some of those things could be cursed. Some of those generational things that have been passed down from people and person to person, and it ends up in these stores, could actually bring a curse or bad energy into your home. And then you feel a heavy feeling, and people are clawing at each other, yelling at each other, and you don't know why. It's because the energy that was brought in with the furniture or with that piece of jewelry you're wearing that is secondhand, the person could have been of dark spirit. Understand? And another thing, when we call on our ancestors, you have to say, I am calling on the ancestors of the light. Because I'm telling you, even in some of our immediate families, we have people that carry dark energy. So when you call on your ancestors, you don't want to call forth the ones, one might have been a rapist or a murderist or unaliver or something like that. You don't want them to step forward. No, you want to ask for the ancestors of the light to step forward. And if you are going to bring some secondhand furniture into your house, you need to cleanse it and bless it. You need to smudge it, wash it in salt, prayed over salt, read Bible verses. But the best thing to do is, if you're bringing something into your home, just get it new. It doesn't make payments on it. It doesn't matter if it's less expensive than other pieces of furniture, but it's better to have something that is new. And even some of that furniture that has been sitting in a warehouse somewhere, you have to do a blessing on your home. Bless your home. Smudge it. Um, you have to smudge or either get sea salt, throw it in each corner as you're saying blessings or reading verses from scripture. You've got to do something to eliminate the negative energy off of that material thing, because energy is everywhere and energy goes on and it lasts forever. So be very particular about people passing or giving you something to keep in your home, because you don't know what energy that carries. Now, plants, like my plants over here, they can sense energy. I had a plant in here, a sage plant, a live sage plant. And a particular person came in here with some very bad energy. Soon as that person left, my sage plant withered up and died. I had never had any issues with that plant until that person came in. I went ahead and replaced the plant, and it's doing fine now. But whenever there's negative energy that comes in, or an object even that carries negative energy, my plants can tell before I can. Now, somebody brought in some negative energy some months ago, and my palm tree, y'all see in some of the background how beautiful my palm tree was. Shortly after that person visited and left, my palm tree started to have issues. Leaves turning brown, and it was nothing to do with the soil, because it was excellent soil. It was prospering. But that one visit from a negative person, my plant picked up on it and was affected by it. So be careful what you bring to your house. If you're having that heavy feeling in your home, and it seems as though negative things are happening in your home, look around and see what you brought into your home and get rid of it. I can tell you another example. There was a little boy that gave my son a game when he was like maybe about 12 years old. And I had my stepdaughter in there too. I was raising my husband's children and our children. So we had 6 of them in all. And my stepdaughter, I call her she's my daughter. My stepdaughter, my husband's daughter, that had come in from Jamaica. Whew. She started playing that game, and we noticed how enthralled she was with it. She was all into it. And then shortly after she played the game, she would wake up in the middle of the night, walk in the halls, doing strange things, lights flashing. We had no explanation for it except that game. So there was this holy lady that came into our home, and we would go sit around the table and have Bible study and figure out what was going on. Well, my stepdaughter didn't want to join us for scriptures, but she sat there with her arms crossed, and each one of us had like a Bible open on the table. And she was looking really evil looking. And then all of a sudden, the Bibles, I kid you not, flew off the table, and everybody jumped and screamed. And she was sitting there still looking the same way. And the woman said, there is something else in this house. You got to remove it. So the woman went through every room, and we came to the conclusion that it was that video, and she had this strange looking seed looked like it was bleeding in her drawer. The woman said, you got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. So we got rid of those two things, smudged the house. And after that, things were like quiet. And then she started acting really strange, evil. Like you'd give her something, she'll go outside and throw it in the dumpster, her Christmas gifts, just doing really wild things. Soon we took her up to New Jersey to her aunt. And her aunt called back saying, I don't know what's going on, but she was walking in the hall in the middle of the night and the lights were flashing on and off. She said, we got to get her out of here. So they ended up taking her to an institution, but I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was spiritual. And I actually think she needed some call them an exorcism or a purging of negative spirit. But I'm telling you, be careful what you bring into your home. Thank you for watching.